Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I have a really special guest for you today. I have someone that's relatively new to the business. I've been in the business about a year, lives down in Southern California, lives where he wants, but has decided to invest where the numbers make sense. And for him, he's grown a portfolio from 0 all the way up to 11, and then just sold a few, so he's down to 6 now. So we're going to talk about that, unpack all of that. Let's welcome Mike Abramov to the show. How you doing this morning, Mike?
Great, great. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm very excited to talk about everything we have to talk about.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. Not many people are brave enough to do the interview outside, so I like that.
I've never done an interview before, so to me it's fairly new. But I'm up for anything. I do anything once. That's my motto.
There you go. There you go. Well, Mike, just do me a favor, introduce the world to who you are, where you live, and a little bit about where you invest, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely, yeah. So originally we're from the East Coast. My wife and I and 3 kids. We are right now reside in Southern California. I'm outside right now. It's a little gloomy, but nothing we could do about that. We originally started investing about a little bit over a year ago. We bought our first duplex, and we're invest right now in Cleveland, Ohio. We quickly exceeded to about 11 units, and we sold off a couple just because we wanted to get some more capital. We want to go bigger multifamily, yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, let's unpack your story a little bit. So what was it? What happened a year ago, or a little over a year ago, that you said, you know what, I want to get me some real estate? Or maybe it was a couple years ago. I'm not sure. What happened to spark that?
Definitely was a couple of years ago, but we never really started and never really took that first step. Me and my wife are both passionate about real estate. And of course, everybody read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And we started reading a couple of more books. And then the book we really read that got us going was Brandon Turner's book, From Bigger Pockets. Thank you, Brandon, if you're listening.
Yeah.
And then after that, we kind of read another book, Cash Flow Quadrant, from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And we said, you know what, let's just do it. So we started expanding different markets, and we found Cleveland where the numbers didn't make sense. And we bought our first multifamily. I mean, we were scared. This was out of state. I've never even flew out there when we bought it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a little scary, but the numbers made sense on paper. We got a really good broker. We built up a good team right away. We made a lot of connections. We got a property manager, and we built a good team so we could trust, and we moved forward, and we bought this duplex without even seeing it. I mean, we were scared. To this day, it's our best investment yet, and we're hoping to hold on to it for a long time.
So the duplex you bought first is you still own. It's not one of the ones you sold off.
No. That's like I said, it's one of our best investments that we got. Yeah, we got really good cash flow and lovely.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit, because, I'll be honest. I tell people, I have that statement of live where you want, but invest where the numbers make sense. Yep. But I've always told people, or at least strongly suggested, that they at least go visit where they're going to invest. So you clearly didn't. Totally okay. Lots of people don't. But how do you unpack that risk versus reward? And it's got to be nerve-wracking, I would think.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure it was nerve-wracking. And to be honest with you, if I went there, and of course I went there afterwards. And
okay.
If I went there while I was buying it, I probably wouldn't have bought it. Because I'm not living in California. I'm not familiar with like mid states and how people live and what kind of housing there is. And so I'm actually a little glad I did it that way.
Okay.
Without seeing it. I just looked at the numbers, and the numbers made sense. And we got an inspector, we got an appraiser, we got another inspector. So we kind of trusted everything I've paid for all the information I've got back and the feedback.
Right.
I've trusted that. But I do advise for anyone who wants to invest out of state, absolutely visit the area you want to invest, drive around it, look around it, look at the neighborhoods. So going forward, absolutely 100% have to do that.
Yeah. And the other thing that you said there that's a gem that can't be missed is we have to leave. We're both from California, so that's the we in this statement. We both have to leave our California minds behind when we go out of state, right? Because what we're used to, right? I'm in the Bay Area, it's 7 figures for a tiny shack. And, that's just not the case in many parts of the country. So we have to dump that, and it's hard sometimes, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? When I found out the prices in other states, I'm like, you could get a duplex for how much?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, it was crazy. So that's what we did. But yeah, absolutely. Going forward, you have to get that California mindset out, which was hard for me at the beginning.
Yeah.
Now that I've been doing it for a little while, it gets a little easier.
All right. Well, let's celebrate your success. What were the details on the purchase? How much was this duplex in Cleveland?
So the duplex was listed at 75, I believe, 75,000. We actually got it down to all the way to 59.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got it down to 50. We got it down to 59. We closed on it fairly quickly. I paid cash for the property just to get the good deal and close quickly. So I'm in the middle of refinancing it right now, actually, as we speak.
Cool.
Pull my money out and hopefully invest into something else.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really anything hard.
And what were the rents? Sorry.
Right now, the rents are so I rehabbed the total there was an upstairs and a downstairs. We rehabbed the upstairs. So the downstairs tenant was currently living when I bought it. The upstairs was vacant, and it was vacant for 10 years. So we rehabbed it. Yeah. We rehabbed it a little bit. Got a renter in for $750.
Okay.
And the downstairs tenant was living there for 15 years, who actually moved out already, and we got a new tenant in there for $850.
Oh, wow. So let's just call it $60K purchase. You're getting $1,600 a month, and it sounds like the make ready or the turns all in were like 20 grand, maybe.
A little bit less. It was very close. It was
yeah.
I would like to say right under 15 grand. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, and I can see now that you're going to go get it reappraised, extract most, if not all, of your capital, so you can just go do it again.
Yeah, we're thinking it's going to get appraised for about $90,000 to $105,000. So we'd probably leave 25%, take out 75, and absolutely do it again.
Do it again. Brandon Turner's Burr method, right? That's what he calls it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that's cool. So you got the first one done. That was 2 doors. Let's talk about how you went from 2 to 11. What did that look like?
The funny part is then I got another. So I bought 2 at the same time. I bought a single family. I bought a single family that was brought to my attention that needed a ton of work. And so it was, at the time when I bought it, was $13,000. It was a single family home in a decent area, but it needed about $10,000 to $15,000 of work.
Wow.
So I bought that. We bought cash for it. We paid cash for it. We rehabbed it nicely, and we got a tenant living in there right now, paying $750 a month. And that property all in cost me $25,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, that certainly exceeds the 2% rule.
So then we kind of ran out of capital, right? Paying cash for all these properties. We knew that we had to refinance, but we wanted to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
After that, we partner up with somebody who then helped us buy a couple of more. So then we bought a triplex. We bought 2 duplexes.
Okay.
So the triplex that we converted to a 4-unit, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it had storage or something that was.
It had an upstairs, and then we had a contractor come in and say, you know what, we think we could make it to a 4-unit.
Nice.
And we looked at the numbers. The numbers made sense, and we converted that to a 4-unit.
Wow, that's very cool. All right. So all of these were in Cleveland, yeah?
All of these are in Cleveland, yeah.
Okay. So then you get up to 11, and in the intro you talked about selling 5, I noted down. So what sparked selling 5? Was that the partner wanted his money back, or what was it?
Actually, it was a little bit of both. No, the partner never wanted the money back. He actually wanted to move forward. So
okay.
In the process, we had those 2 that weren't done. So what happened was, it's funny, and that's what makes it hard to invest out of state. We had a bad contractor.
Yeah.
Who kind of at the same time when we were buying these, we used that same contractor, and he was giving us numbers that are like way too low. So that was one of the rookie mistakes I've done. I've used his information to buy more and more and more and more. And then when it came down to it, we kept on paying him and paying him. And he just took off with our money and ran.
Oh,
Oh man. Yeah, I know.
yeah. That's I don't know, the curse of out of state investing. Sometimes is no matter how much you vet them, they could be gone in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, he at the same time, he was doing two houses at the same time. And then we bought another one, and he's like, yeah, I have enough manpower. And then we flew out there and we met all his guys, and just we paid him a whole ton of money, and then he just never done the work and just disappeared.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. What kind of advice could you give somebody who's looking at out of state investing, and that's probably one of their greatest risks? What would you advise?
Making the mistakes I made, definitely get multiple quotes. Make sure any work, and I mean, sometimes I always look at like the cheaper way out. Sometimes paying a little bit more makes sense. Always look into their information, get references, make sure they're insured and bonded. Make sure you get 3-4 quotes from different people. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Definitely that's good strategy and good advice. Yeah. So if I was to do that, I definitely wouldn't make the same mistakes again if I was doing that.
Yeah, well, that's good advice. And then would you still say, now that you've seen the ups, which you've seen lots, the duplex is your best investment, all of that, some of the downs, would you still recommend out of state investing? You still going hard to the hoop?
100%. It slowed us down a little bit, but we're actually expanding. We wanted to go. Right now we're looking for 8 to 20 unit, and
okay.
we're moving to Columbus area actually, because Columbus being the capital of Ohio, and the market is a little bit better than Cleveland. So we're moving to the Columbus area.
Yeah. So those kind of smaller multifamily commercial financing, makes a lot of sense. Have you been to Columbus yet? Have you been out there to look at some of the inventory just yet?
Not yet. I'm planning a trip sometime this month, actually.
Yeah. So one of the things to look for, because I've owned those units, right? The biggest I've ever owned is 18. We've had several of those. But one thing that I've seen, like an 18 versus a duplex, is you really have to watch how close everybody's front doors are. Right. Sometimes you go to these two stacked buildings and the front doors are like 4 feet apart or 8 feet apart. That can build a very chaotic environment, right? Because people are people, right? And
Oh, yeah, sure.
if you can find an 18 that's more garden style, maybe single level, there's a fourplex here and a fourplex there. It typically bodes well for harmony.
Great advice. Thank you.
Yeah. So think about that, and definitely the rents will be different too, right? Because if they're living, I've owned a building they were so close it almost felt like jail cells, right? The doors were like you see on the movies. Right? And then I've owned some that's on a big acre parcel, and it's a duplex there and a fourplex here, and it's just different tenants, different quality, different rents. So watch out for that.
Yeah. Thank you. That's great advice. I take all the advice I could get. I mean, the real estate community has been awesome. Everybody's like so close, and I began to realize it's a team sport, and everybody's helping each other out. I mean, it's amazing. So anything, like, I'm new to real estate. Anything I could do to help out, I try my best.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's definitely a team sport.
100%.
Definitely.
I absolutely love it, and hopefully I keep moving forward and adding more doors to our portfolio. And
very cool. So the 5 units you sold, those were a sale, or was that a 1031?
No, that was a sale.
Okay.
So one of them, we lost money, and the other one we actually made money. So it kind of was break even.
Okay. All right, but now you're loaded again. You got your capital, and you're off seeking the 10 to 20 unit building. That's kind of the next step.
We're not opposed to like a nice duplex in a decent area, but this time we'll be a little bit more cautious and a little bit, we don't mind like the smaller still. Definitely want 2+, 2.4.
Yeah.
2.48, but we definitely want to start smaller, learn as much as we can, because we don't want to make a big mistake in a big multifamily. Yeah. So we're learning a lot and getting exposed a lot, getting ourselves educated as much as we can. So going forward, we don't have to make these mistakes and just keep making them that we need to make.
That's very cool. So one thing I'd love to hear from you is did you set a goal for 2019, like unit wise or size wise or anything?
You know what? We're a little bit behind on that. We wanted to be at 20,
Okay.
at 20, so we're a little bit behind on that. So we got to get going.
Yeah, yeah. Well, don't be in a rush. It's okay.
Yeah.
You,
Well, I
you,
mean,
you get there
the
in
way
one deal.
the way we started, I mean, we just started off like bam, bam, bam. We set a goal of 100 by end of 2020.
Oh,
That goal is still there.
okay.
We just have to work a little harder and be a little smarter, and that's about it. But yeah, we want to have 20, at least 20 by the end of this year.
That's awesome. Okay.
If we get more, if we get that sweet deal, then but we want to have 100 by the end of 2020 for sure.
Okay. Very cool. So obviously, 100's a nice round number. It's a great goal. Does 100, do you think, give you the power or the flexibility to go, you know what? I'm going to do this full time, or do you see yourself dabbling in this for the next 5 to 10 years and then exit? Do you have thoughts on that?
So, my wife wants me to quit my job and just kind of do this full time.
Yeah.
I always been passionate enough. I always want to work. Maybe. So I have a W-2 job right now. Maybe
Sure.
maybe I won't work as much, but I definitely want to invest more of my time in real estate. 100%. Yeah. So at 100, definitely I'd work a lot. I need more time to be in real estate
Yeah.
for sure. I'd probably do 75% real estate at that time.
Yeah. You got to be
Unless,
busy. Yeah.
yeah, I love being busy. I love working. So
Yeah. Good for you. That's awesome.
yeah.
All right. What are some little tidbits that you've learned that we could share with people? Because there's lots of people that are in your shoes. They got excited by Rich Dad Poor Dad or Brandon Turner's book. The Burr method's excited them. They can't invest locally. They want to go out of state. Let's give them, I don't know, your top 3 lessons learned, or
Well,
let's
yeah,
drop some of that.
definitely, 100%. Definitely, just make that first step. The first step is the most hardest step to make. If you make that first step, just do it mentality. The rest is easy. Like my first duplex was the hardest one to buy. After that, we're like, all right, this is not that bad. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
That would be my first, like, just like in anything in life, just take real estate away. The first step is the most hardest step you can make in
Yeah.
anything.
And just so we're clear, what do you call the first step? Is it writing the offer? Is it closing the deal? What's the first step in your mind?
I mean, the first step would be just start looking and, of
Okay.
course, make offers. Anyone looks, but a lot of people have analysis paralysis, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's happened to us a little bit. But me and my wife were both just said, "All right, are we making an offer on this?" We're like, "Yes, we are." So making the first offer is like so exciting, but sort of
Yeah.
so nerve wracking at the same time. We're like, "Oh my God, did we make an offer right now?" And we're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we made an offer."
Yeah, well,
Um,
let's go back to that again because let's talk about this some more. So I think you said the first deal was listed at 74. You got it for 59. Was 59 your first offer, or did you offer less in the whole counter process, or what happened?
we offered 55.
Okay.
We offered 55. They came down a lot, actually, initial offer. And then I was speaking to the broker. He's like, look, they have to be 60 all in. They have to be 60 all in. So we went back and forth, back and forth. Then I offered to pay cash, and that's how we ended up at 59.
Okay.
Yeah, they gave
That's
me a
awesome.
little bit of a break, and they wanted to close quicker. So one of the things is that they wanted to close like quicker, and apparently one of the deals like fell through or something like that, and financing wise didn't go through with somebody else. So
Yeah.
so they were happy to see an all cash offer. So that's what I did.
Do
And
you know if the seller was local to Cleveland or were they another out of state person? Do you remember? Maybe you
I
don't know.
think there was two people that were out of state.
Okay.
Yeah, they were out of state investors.
Yeah. Because I'm always interested. There's always stories of the buy, like in your position, but there's always another side, right? There's got to be a seller.
Yeah,
So
there's a seller. I mean, that's the thing with having a good broker. My broker kind of snooped out what their hot buttons were.
yeah,
It wasn't the price. It was just time to close, and they preferred all cash, and that's what we did, and that's how we got that great deal.
that's very cool. All right. So okay, so that's one. You gotta take that first step. I like that. Right offers, totally get it. What other pieces of advice you give some folks?
Definitely. Like I would say, get yourself in the same group of like-minded people. So
Yeah.
join Facebook groups, go to local real estate meetups, and be around those like-minded people that will help you motivate it. You see like people like me or other people who are much bigger than me doing it, and we're all the same people. The more work you do and the more people you're around and the same like-minded people who understand, and people who won't say, oh, that's not going to work, this, that, and the other. You got to be in the same circle if you want to succeed in this business. So that's like one of the advice that I got. And that's something I'm trying to work on, being in these little groups and being at real estate meetups and all kinds of meetups. You got to be out there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love that one as well. Yeah, you've got to network, and you got to be around people that are going to be positive influences. And
Yeah.
at least I've had friends that are kind of negative, right? Oh, you don't want to do real estate. It's risky. Don't do that. My uncle lost everything.
I've had the same thing. And when I was first starting out, me and my wife were so excited. We were telling our friends and family, and some of my friends were like, oh, why would you want to do that out of state? You're crazy. You're going to lose all your money. You don't know what you're doing. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. This is going to happen. I'm like, oh my God, just leave me alone. Let me do what I want to do. And
let me be me.
Yeah. I've done enough research. I've looked at the numbers, like it's going to work. So yeah, just stay away from, I would say definitely stay away from those people. And if they give you bad advice, just acknowledge it. And people who here's another tip. People who are not successful, don't take their advice, especially in what you're doing.
Ah, I like that.
Especially like if I would never take real estate advice from my friend who's never done real estate ever in his life.
Yeah.
He could be like the most successful guy, but I would never take his real estate advice. I would take advice from a guy like you or somebody who's very successful versus somebody who never done it before. They're just gonna naysay me. So
yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's amazing how many people have opinions on real estate that have never done it.
Yeah. Everybody has opinions. Everybody wants to do it. Everybody's scared to do it. But I mean, the way I look at it, every single wealthy person in this world has had real estate or owns real estate.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. This has been a lot of fun. Hey, if somebody wants to get a hold of you or reach out to you, how can they follow you, or how can they connect with you? What, Facebook or what?
Facebook is definitely I give my email address is mike@msbyhomes, mike@msbyhomes, and my phone number is 917-650-4125.
Very cool.
That's still a New York number. I'm originally from New York.
You can't give it up.
I can't. A lot of people say I still have that accent.
Yeah, a little bit right there. I heard a little bit.
When people say I have the coffee and everything else.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you could definitely hear it when you say coffee. That was cool. Well, Mike, this has been a lot of fun. I love talking to people that are just starting out. I think you're doing great things. I look forward to seeing what you do in Columbus, and good luck getting to 100.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
You got it, brother. Take care. Good luck.
All righty.